There we go. Here's one with Dear Dr. Paul. I really enjoyed your discussion on love frauds. Wow, that was a good one. We had a lot of response on that. I did date and sadly got into business with a man who was a sociopath with all these characteristics. Remember, there were 10 of them. He initially tried and briefly succeeded in getting me to bond with him. We talked about bonding, and that's really critical. If you bond with someone, it's a two-way street. It's not just a one-way street. That bond is greater than any bond you will ever have in your life, including your children. All right? This is scientifically correct. We talk about soulmates. It may be chemistry, magnetism, whatever, but there's a bonding process that occurs. There may be a blend of things that may be sent. And going back to the initial monologue, if you have that bonding and someone tries to change it, you're going to wind up really being angry with the person who is trying to change it, and you're going to be angry with yourself in the event that it does change, and you're going to have a lot of misery. So bonding is, I want you to look that up on Wikipedia, and I think you'll find that bonding in this regard is critically important to a really successful relationship, marriage, whatever, okay? It's the real deal. Okay, we went to the bond by using many of these characteristics, including but not limited to the stare, the fast approach, wanting me to write with him and produce a TV show with him, and use pity that his former wife died of cancer and that he wanted to start a cancer charity with me, knowing I was a young breast cancer survivor. Okay, you discovered these things, and rightly so. My brother also married a sociopath who was a cocktail waitress in Japan from Manila, who got my brother to marry her after he had a car accident, after she nursed him back to health, and knowing, too, that he was a banker. Her family then blackmailed him for money. But most of this now is going into a memoir I'm now writing. This ought to be a very interesting memoir. I'd like to read that. Please keep us posted on that memoir. I'd like to see it. And in fact, if you get it completed, maybe you'd like to be a guest on my show. I like this. This really says it all. And the lady who was the author of the book on the sociopathic characteristics, I'm sure she would like it as well. A memoir which I'm now writing, which I spoke about earlier in the year, in relation to the generational effects of children of narcissistic mothers. My own mother, I believe, has NPD, and often the children of narcissistic, normalized, abnormal predatory behavior, growing up with distorted notion of love from a mother that uses and objectifies them. You are right. You obviously have done some serious study on this, and you're absolutely correct. Congratulations. I see that you're serious about writing this, and congratulations. You're the victim of this. I see that, and so is your brother. It's amazing, isn't it? Wow. I eventually went on to be a scholar of women's literature and film. This just came to me, so I have not read this before. I eventually went on to be a scholar of women's literature and film at Oxford University with specialization in psychoanalytical analysis of literature. But after cancer treatment, the effects of BC on the female psyche are so traumatic and potent, it is unfortunately very easy to slip back into the position I was in as a child, which was that of someone overworking to prove one's worth in love and in nearly every other partnership. You are right on the. You're obviously good at what you do. You analyze this perfectly. I can't take any issue with this. Now, this is the type of thing I'm talking about. Someone who really does the research and the background information. There are a lot of people out there who don't agree with me, but they are not doing their homework. I do my homework. This woman is doing a fine job. She's really, and she's precisely correct. Again, this is the first time I've seen this, and I'm going through this, and I'm very impressed. Yeah, it is easy. When you have breast cancer, that's what BC means, and she has that background. She's sliding back. She's backsliding because of the traumatic psychological impact on her. So if you're in that position, okay, listen to this lady. She's really analyzing this right on, spot on. Okay, so academia is one thing, but traumas both to the psychosexual identity through illness and through the mother figure are so powerful that it is unfortunately all too easy to continue to be vulnerable when a powerful, overconfident person pretending to be one to offer you strength and validation then ends up being your last predator. In a seemingly endless series of predators, beginning with one that gave birth to you, she was exposed to a narcissistic individual, NPD, prior to meeting these people, and her brother as well, so they are now identifying with that. And that defines both, for men and women, the consummate figure of love and nurturing. Exactly. Anyhow, before I ramble on, I want to say thank you for posting the video clip of your interview. I do believe there are many unspoken victims of sociopaths, but I do feel that these victims are preconditioned to their vulnerability, most likely through a parent or someone in childhood that was a fraud, overly charismatic, and that objectified and used them and confused them about how to define love and self-worth. You're good. You're right on. Love and self-worth, and that, you have to love yourself before you can love anyone else. And if you love someone else and then find yourself, that's wonderful. You have to find yourself. You have to find that love and that self-worth. You've done a fantastic job here. We have, apparently you're out of the country, out of the U.S., fine. If you're able to, you can be a guest on the show by telephone connect. No problem. We appreciate this very much. I'm looking forward to further information from you regarding this book that you're working on, the memoir. Good luck to that. I think you've got something here. I think a lot of people need to learn and understand and appreciate what you're doing. Thank you.